Next 10 minutes or so, we're going to take it all things Tottenham Hotspur. The Spurs taking care of business today at Wembley with a 1-0 win against Newcastle. Left it late, but that man's son has stepped up again in the absence of Harry Kane and Dele Alli. And we've got Chris Cowlin on the line, Spurs fan and author, to discuss in a little bit more detail. Hello, Chris.
Hello, James. Hello, Richard. Good evening to you.
Yeah, Chris. Great to have you on the line, matey. Was there any point during the 90 minutes, let's go particularly into the last 15 or so, that you were thinking, oh, no, please, it's going to be a bad day?
Of course not. We don't draw games.
Brilliant. Okay.
No, I think we all, it was a frustrating day. It was quite a dull game, really. Not many chances. Lamela hit the post in the first half. Rondon hit the post in the second half. Hugo Lloris made a couple of great saves in the game. But I think the turning point is when we actually brought Llorente on, which would be a surprise. If you said that a few weeks ago, I think a lot of people would be surprised. But when we brought Llorente on, he assisted Sonny for the goal. And even though it was a goalkeeping error, a goal's a goal and a win's a win. And what's been so great about Tottenham this season is that we've just been grinding out these results. And, in the past, even up to a couple of years ago, still under Pochettino, it's a game like today, we would have drawn. And the turning point in this season, and that's why we're sitting in second place at the moment, is that we're just grinding these results out and getting the 3 points.
Yeah, no, you touched on the fact that your boys don't draw. In fact, the win sets the Premier League record because it's now 29 matches, eclipsing Bolton's mark of 28, which was set in 2011, which is quite extraordinary. And you touched on the fact there, a couple of things I want to mention. One is Son, and the impact that he has is just, it seems like it's becoming more and more. He's gone from being a very, very good player to arguably being a world-class player. Is that fair?
Absolutely, he's exceptional. You only have to look in the crowd, how many banners, posters, and how many South Korean fans turn up to see him, and they travel, from their respective countries to come and see him. And the Spurs fans absolutely love him. We're so glad that we've got him, and he come back from the Asian Games early, and we're all glad about that. And he won us the game. Well, he played a great part in the game midweek and got one of the goals, and he certainly won us the game today. And people talk about Harry Kane and Dele Alli being out, and it's players like Son who need to step up to the mark and do their job very well, and he's certainly done that this week. And it's been great actually in the past 6-7 days, because it was, a lot of people were quite down the way that we went out of the League Cup and the FA Cup. So quickly, and then to have this week where we've got 6 points in the Premier League, and to think now we're only 4 points away from Liverpool. We've just, gone over Manchester City. I know they play tomorrow, but you think about how much money these teams have spent, the players that they've brought in. We haven't done that, and it's been all about hard work. We've got a great manager, and I think there's some really good times ahead for Tottenham.
Yeah, Chris, my co-host opposite me, Rich Lee, has said that could this season be another one where Spurs fans look at a missed opportunity? When you think about in the last few seasons, they've had those times where they finished second, and if you could have just had that little bit of extra investment, does it almost feel like this season's going to pan out in the same way?
Probably, you're probably right, but a Champions League place is what most clubs want, and for the fact that all of us fans over the last, this season and last season, we've got the likes of Barcelona and Real Madrid, in Champions League groups. It's not a bad way to be, and it's not bad opposition. It's all well and good winning an FA Cup, a League Cup. Pochettino is aiming high, and he does want a Premier League trophy. He wants to win the Premier League, and I've no doubt that we will spend money in the future. It hasn't happened. I think if Pochettino actually said, I want X, Y and Z players, and they didn't come in, then I think we've got an issue. But until he actually says who he wants, and I think it's very hard to improve our squad at the moment. Certainly when Harry Kane and Dele Alli come back, you can't seem to buy a striker who wants to sit on the bench and play second fiddle to one of the best strikers in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just going to cut in because there has been a goal in the game at Cardiff, and it has gone the way of Cardiff. It's Bobby Reid who has a penalty on 5 minutes, and actually is a nice touch. He's gone over to the sideline, and there was a T-shirt of Salah, which he held up, and it's quite an emotional day, as you can imagine, in Cardiff, but they have taken the lead against Bournemouth.
Chris, just taking it back to Tottenham. Of course, Lucas Moura started up top today, and there wasn't a goal for a long, long time. Was you quite surprised to see that, considering that Llorente's grabbed a couple of goals in his last few games?
I wasn't surprised because Llorente had played 3 consecutive games. I don't think his fitness is nowhere near as good as some of the other Tottenham players. But Llorente's done a great job for us. Lucas Moura has had injury problems this season, so he's only just come back as well. But I think what's great about Tottenham is that when another player comes in, they do the job and they just get the job done. And that is something that is very, very obvious with our manager. Every player wants to play for our manager, and he gets them working very well.
Well, Chris, thank you so much for that insight on the Tottenham performance today. And, of course, we'll be keeping our eyes very much on the Spurs as we head into the end of the season. Tottenham now in second place, of course, on 57 points, 4 points behind Liverpool, top of the league on 61. City play Arsenal tomorrow, but what's most important is the points on the board, and Tottenham have them.